You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS fluff or overused jargon, just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today is episode 106, My Dirty Little Secret. If you're an entrepreneur who wants actionable solutions to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. My goal today is for you to find out about my dirty little secret, even if I truly didn't want to share it, so you can grasp the same valuable lessons I learned from revealing it and cleaning up the mess without all the effort and power struggles I faced. I am looking forward to bringing this episode to you, kind of, but I am about this episode because my embarrassing secret only 3 people knew about until now. 3. What I learned from letting go of my ego and power, why secrets are meant to be shared, tips for working with your team to achieve common goals, and so much more. Now, before we dive into today's topic, I want to share with you a little bit about one of the ways we can possibly work together. I know that as an entrepreneur, you are insanely busy and may not be able to commit to a full coaching program in this season of your business. But if you still want to power up your productivity so that you can level up your business and start seeing those higher profits rolling in, if that sounds like you, I invite you to sign up for one of my master classes. You can get a highly affordable piece of my expertise and training during an online crash course loaded with strategies to execute solutions to some of your biggest productivity challenges. Just head on over to theproductivityspecialist.com/masterclasses. Okay, so now let's get to the straight talk of me sharing my dirty little secret. Call them skeletons in your closet, call them dirty little secrets. Whatever you call them, you have them. Everyone has them. You have information about yourself or your past that you keep locked inside your brain and personal, close to your heart, and have thrown away the key. Information you've probably told no one because it's too revealing or shameful, maybe immoral, or just downright embarrassing. Well, today I'm going to walk my biggest skeleton right out of my super organized, color-coded closet and will tell you my dirty little secret. Is it as juicy as a tabloid? No, really, it's not. But I think you'll enjoy the story just the same. All right, so I have a bedroom, and it's an extra bedroom. There's really no purpose for the bedroom. But the purpose of the bedroom has, well, been to store my dirty little secret. I keep that bedroom locked because if you haven't already noticed, I need to first tell you how organized I generally am. I mean, people come to my house and they awe over my pantry, right? Like it's all organized. Everything has a home. The storage closet, everything has a home. Everything's organized. My master closet, I have a big master closet. Everything has its place. I have a certain color hanger. My husband has a certain color hanger. Just organization is part of my everyday life. And I also am a minimalist. I don't like clutter. Everything needs to have a home. Counters are cleaned off. There's no appliances on the counter. I'm painting this picture before I let my skeleton out of the closet. So here we go. I have a room in my house that I cannot even walk into because there is so much shit in there. Like random, all the things. I mean, you name it. I have 2 king-size beds that are stacked in there because they didn't work out for us. And we're in this attempt to find the perfect bed. And I haven't gotten rid of those ones. So they're stored in there. I have things from when my son was a baby, like he's turning 9 in a week. I have clothes, I have old gifts, I have anything that I'm tired of looking at in my house. And obviously you can tell this room stores all the things. Now, this is extremely embarrassing to me because it actually does not fit in with any other area of my life where there's structure or organization. Everything has a home. But what it has allowed me to do is keep everything else clean, have a home, there's a space, and then I just go through the house and I unclutter and I literally throw it in this room. And yes, every once in a while, I will clean out the room and I will make a trip to donating the items. But for some reason, I find peace in being able to put these items in like a holding pattern. I hardly ever take something out of my home or decide I'm no longer going to use something and take it straight to donation. It goes into this room where it just sits and it waits until I've decided an undetermined amount of time has gone by and I can now get rid of it. All right, so that is the room. And I'm really trying to paint this picture to you. Like you literally can barely open the door. And I'm talking from floor to ceiling. My nanny/personal assistant found the room. She opened it because she was cleaning something up and she saw the room and I was mortified. I was so embarrassed. And I'm pretty sure I said, no, don't worry about that. Like, okay, no, we just don't go in there. It's just an extra bedroom. We just store some things. And so that was earlier on and when she started working for me. And then I roped her into being my accomplice that I would be like, oh, I don't want this, or this. Like, can you go throw it in the extra bedroom? So now I've roped someone else into being my accomplice in just like literally throwing stuff in this bedroom. The level of anxiety and procrastination to clean out this room gets quite heavy. Like I just ignore it, right? We don't need the bedroom. There's no other purpose for the bedroom. It's not hurting anyone. No one sees it. Like you hear me rationalizing. This is like all of me rationalizing this dirty little secret. Okay. So she obviously found out about it. And one day she came in and I didn't have any projects lined up for her. I didn't have any work in the business. And she said, hey, can I go clean out the bedroom? And I'm like, the bedroom? Like the bedroom. She's like, yeah, like I'm going to go clean it out for you. And I was like, no, you're not. And I proceeded to spend the next 10 minutes telling her why she was not going to clean out the bedroom. Couple things here. She asked to clean out the bedroom. The first thing I thought was, how can she clean it out? She has no idea what I want to keep, what I want to get rid of, what's what. And probably the very first thought I had that was really feeling this was like my ego. I was so embarrassed. I had created this mess. This was my mess. Who am I to have someone clean up my mess? I had such tremendous anxiety. And for me, this would have been an entire weekend or more to clean up this room because I was emotionally tied to the things and I would have dragged it out. And I, in my head, would have thought, I just wasted and ruined an entire weekend to clean out this room. And she said, no, just, I'm going to go organize it. It's really not that bad, she tells me. And I think she really believes it wasn't that bad. And in my head, I made it so much worse. Have you ever made something so much worse in your head than it really was? I know I'm not alone here. And she's like, no, I love organizing, which I already knew she did, kind of why she got hired. She loves order and organizing and all the things. And so I didn't have anything else for her to do. And I literally was so tempted to pay her hourly rate for her to do practically nothing before I wanted her to actually go clean up this room. So she goes up there. And I jump back on my calls and with my clients and I'm back into my schedule. And she pulls all the things out of the room and she's organizing it and resetting things up and can clearly kind of see things that I may or may not want. She's like creating these piles. And not even 3 hours later, like I want to say 2.5 hours later, she had that room completely cleaned out. from start to finish. Now, remember earlier in this story, I said I had 2 king-size beds, like one we're waiting to return, the other one we're actually keeping so that one day, maybe someday when I get this room cleaned out, it can be a guest room, so we didn't want to get rid of the bed. These were all standing straight up because there was no room to lay them down. When I got upstairs, I jumped. She had these beds. I'm not even finishing my sentences. She had the king-size beds laid out like a bed to sleep on, stacked on top of each other. Everything else in the room put away in the closets, storage things all stacked together and organized, a pile of things that she's pretty sure wanted to be donated. I ran and jumped on the bed like a little kid and rolled around squealing so happy. I could not freaking believe in 2.5 hours what to me felt like something so embarrassing, so overwhelming, so much work, so much emotional drain to have done it myself. And I literally argued with her not to do it. She did an amazing job. A phenomenal job. And I was sincerely so happy. And it wasn't just me that got happy. She got happy. Here's a good lesson. Like, she freaking loved that time that she spent in the room because that's her zone of genius that she loved organizing. And I literally let her do it. Well, not at first, of course, but I ended up letting her do it. And she enjoyed that time in the room organizing it. And I also wasn't the only one that enjoyed it. My husband has wanted it cleaned out. He wanted it as a guest room. It's kind of one of those subjects for those of you that are married where you know where your spouse lands on it. And it's one of those things you kind of don't talk about because it really doesn't end very well. My husband has alluded to, spoken about, hey, you're going to get that room cleaned up. What are we going to do with that room? When do you think we can make it a guest room? And I would literally just blow it off every time because in my head, this was my thing. And I want you to hear that. This was my thing in my head that I made so big. What have you made so big? What is your dirty little secret? What is it that is just a chaos or it's a mess or it's something you don't want to share with anybody that once you take action on isn't really that bad? All right, so there's my dirty little secret. I told you it's not as juicy as the tabloids, but I think it's very relevant. And I want to share with you what I learned. Here's what I learned. I learned that I made it much bigger in my head than it actually was. And I'm going to ask you the same thing. What is it in your life that you've made bigger than what it really is? Number 2, I had to get my ego out of the way to achieve progress. I was literally talking her out of supporting me because I was so embarrassed and I wasn't asking for help. And I would have never asked her for help, even though she's hired to help and support me. My ego was in the way. Number 3, it's okay to let someone else clean up your mess. It really is. And I say that because it's a recent lesson learned, but there are people that truly enjoy helping other people. And when you let them help you the way you need to be helped, it actually helps them and makes them feel good. You do not need to be the only one that's cleaning up your mess. Now, I'm telling you my personal story from my personal life and my personal home. But my guess is you might have a mess in your business, and it is okay to have someone help you clean it up. Next, it pays off big to accept assistance when someone else is offering a helping hand. In my story, could you hear yourself saying no to someone else? Like, she literally said, hey, I am here to help you. There's this thing you need help with. Let me help you. And again, I said no, and I said no, and I said no. And luckily enough, she was persistent enough because she knew it was a pain point. She knew she could be of service, and she didn't take my no for an answer. Thank goodness. So when someone else is offering you help, accept it. This is also coming up in another area of my business that someone offered me help, and I wasn't sure if I should take it. It seems like, seems too good to be true. What is it? And finally, after talking to my coach, I was literally told the same lesson that I had to hear more than once. It's okay to accept help when someone offers it. Okay, next, empowering your employees to think creatively and offer up ideas for improvement can only be a win-win. I had expressed to her that here is your job description. Tactically, here's this task, here's this task. These are the things that need to happen in your role. But more importantly than that, and more importantly than that in all the roles that I have in my business, is that I empower my employees to always be looking for ways to make improvements, always looking for ways to create efficiency, and most certainly always looking for ways that they think they can fill a void or help me in a way that I may not even see for myself. By having those conversations and empowering your employees, it doesn't put the ownership just on you to have to come up with all the ways you need help. Because sometimes when we need help, the way that we need help is so close to us, like you can't even see your nose. You can't see the way you need help, but it's obvious to them. So empower your employees to see things and to speak up and to offer those types of assistances. And lastly is sometimes, and I'm going to put sometimes, dirty little secrets are meant to be shared. Because I could have kept this dirty little secret to myself, and well, it's no longer a dirty little secret because it's a clean room that's all organized. But I needed to share it because I truly believe that as soon as this was done, immediately I thought, oh my gosh, there's so many good business lessons in this. There's so many good life lessons in this. Personal growth of asking for help and all the things I just shared with you would not have been able to, while the actual experience was great, it could be magnified and multiplied by sharing the story with others. So me sharing my dirty little secret, I'm confident is actually helping you in some area of your business or life. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's episode. And I want to thank you so much for being a loyal listener of Productivity Straight Talk. At the very beginning of this episode, I had shared with you one of the ways that we can work together. If you've been thinking of wanting to work with me, finding out ways we could possibly work together to really accelerate your growth and your profits and decrease stress, then I encourage you to head on over to theproductivityspecialist.com/work with me. And if you have not already done so, there's a few ways that you can help support the podcast. One is leave a review on iTunes if you happen to listen on iTunes. And two is share the episode or the podcast with another entrepreneur that you feel would find it valuable. Truly, the way that this podcast and this messaging and me helping more and more people is going to expand is through you sharing it. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time on hitting share, sending a nice little note, and sharing this to an entrepreneurial friend. I have a special thank you going out to Gray Sun. Okay, these usernames on iTunes are kind of a little crazy. I wish I knew exactly who it was so I can thank them properly. But they said, so grateful I found this podcast full of excellent content. I'm immediately implementing Amber's advice in my law practice. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for leaving the review. Thank you for letting me know how it's impacting your business and your life and your law firm. And again, my desire is truly to bring you real life, down to earth, practical strategies to decrease your stress and increase your revenue, because I truly believe that entrepreneurship is such a blessing. And I want it to be all the things we thought it was going to be when we first got into entrepreneurship, when we were so optimistic, because I truly believe it can be that way when we work on improving our productivity skills, asking for help, getting that direction and the insights that we need to grow our business and ourselves to be the leader of ourselves and our teams to get the results we desire. So that's my straight talk for you today. And until next time, have a productive week.